I'm going to show you a build for all 5 characters in Marvel Zombies to clear Nightmare 4. That way, you have a build on any character you want to play, and they are all soloable with my builds. But before we start with the builds, consider subscribing. We're super close to 100,000. You could always unsubscribe later if you want, and you could be a part of the under 100,000 club. To start, we're going to start with the best blade build. To start off, if you're not that confident, you can go to store and items and purchase some revive tokens. They only cost the blue currency. For some reason, a lot of people didn't know this in my other videos, but yeah, you could buy revive tokens. In your prepare screen for blade, go only red tree, and you want to put on Nocturnal Harmony. Your ultimate doesn't matter and your gun doesn't matter because you will not be using them. They both suck. Next thing is for Khonshu's blessings. A lot of people struggle with this. You will never buy a blue. I'm not kidding. No blue will you purchase, not even if it's gold. As far as the reds, you only want to purchase attack speed early on. A couple attack speeds. You don't keep purchasing this. And then after that, it's only attack range and ancestral sword damage. Now, as far as the general ones, you could buy health early. Doesn't really matter on Nightmare 4. You're going to get one shot easily. It's mostly about your positioning. You want to play far away and get your attack range up as much as you can. You will always buy damage dealt and percentage damage received because it's just better. It stacks better. It gets better endgame. So only damage dealt and damage received minus for purples, and buy maximum health if you get like a good one early. I would say by round 10 you shouldn't be buying health anymore, because if you're not above 12,000 by then, you're gonna get one shot by everything. I have 2 locations I primarily rotate to, but on Nightmare 4 it's pretty hard nonetheless because they can spawn almost everywhere. Main spot is over here on the far right side in the middle. You don't want to stand where you spawn because they start dropping off the roof way more often early. And the main key here is to train them like Call of Duty zombies. You don't want to stand in one spot too long because if you get exploded by a fire guy, you're one shot. If you stand in an acid pool, you're 2 shot. If you get hit with 2 grenades from the grenadier ones, you are 1 shot. So you want to keep rotating in a circle around this main area and be mindful that you should always be moving and keep a distance. For the hard parts like the double Scarlet Witch, the main thing is having your damage range up high enough for round 20 so you're able to hit them both at the same time. As you can see, I was able to get them both in their final phase at the exact same time, meaning I don't have to deal with more than one while I finish the final phase, so I can literally just stand there with my attack range, destroy the crystals, and kill them for the easy under 30-minute clear. Next, we're going to show the best Punisher build, so let's get right into it. This is how you can easily clear Nightmare 4 on Punisher with this broken build. As you can see, enemies pretty much insta-die when they get shot by my weapon, and the mini-bosses die extremely quick. It's probably the only build that will get you through Nightmare 4 on Punisher, and I'll break it down for you guys super easy. As you can see, it absolutely shreds Scarlet Witch as well on Nightmare 4. She just disappears. Same with Namor, all the squids go bye-bye because of the ricochet. Let's get into the details. So for his turret, which is the only one that matters, you won't be using a zipline because it'll get you killed. You want to use Relentless Pursuit. It's like a monkey bomb. That's the only reason you want to put it on. And then obviously all red tree. Blue tree is useless. The shotgun sucks. Very, 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 very bad. Trust me. Now, as for purchasing with general blessings, buying health on Punisher is pretty useless because he is very slow. So if they get close enough to hit you, you're dead anyways. The only things you should buy is damage dealt and damage received. The only way I would buy anything is a little bit of vampiric vitality, and that is if you can get it early. If you're already past round 10, don't bother with it. Now, as for his specific cards, we're only going to be purchasing red cards, but not every red card is good. We don't want to be purchasing magazine size, maybe in the very beginning, but if you have over 1,000 magazine size, stop purchasing it. It's pretty useless. We want to purchase single bullet damage every time it's up, and adjudication headshot damage multiplier every time it's up, and overwhelming assault a couple times. Don't buy deadly lock on, it'll auto lock on enemy heads, which means you can't hit multiple enemies at once, so it's actually a negative. Only buy overwhelming assault for the increased fire rate. If you do end up seeing smart magazine where you get 1 bullet back per hit, that is worth buying because it'll make it to where you never have to reload when you shoot multiple shots per bullet. And now we have the best Magik build. Now let's get straight into this build. As you can see, nothing is even getting remotely close to me, and they're dying very quickly once they get marked. Let's go over why this is happening. Most important thing here is go full red tree. There is another build for Magik that can go all the way through Nightmare 4, and that is full blue tree. She actually has 2 good builds, which is surprising because most characters only have 1. None of her abilities matter because we're only using the default swing. The other things will get you killed using them. just make sure you equip Mortal Will, where you can no longer use your ultimate, but you gain permanent boost to health and damage, and then go full red tree. Now let's go over what we would pick up on Magik. So there's a lot of cards. Obviously we'll only be dipping into the red ones, ignore the blue ones. So one that we'll always be picking up is attack range, so any soul domain or anything that increases attack range. And then obviously any of the ones that are normal form soul sword damage. You want to increase that. That is just the damage you do per swing. And you can pick up mark detonation every now and then. It is pretty good, but I would prioritize the other ones. Also soul surge is good to pick up every now and then if it's there and there's no other good ones. An extra swing from your attack is always worth it. As far as how bossing works, you just want to make sure you have enough attack range to, while you're fighting the first boss Namor, you can rotate around him and be hitting him at the same time you're hitting squids. That way you have enough lifesteal and you're killing the squids at an efficient rate to where you're not dying too fast for your lifesteal to compete. And he should die extremely easily. As for Scarlet Witch, she's the first actual check. If you don't have enough damage or lifesteal at this point, which the higher damage, the higher lifesteal will be, then you will die to her shift attack, which is where she shoots all the red shards at you. So you'll learn very quickly if you didn't get lucky enough to get the right cards, because you will die here as soon as she shoots at you. If you can make it past the first phase of her, you can make it all the way through Nightmare 4. And here's the best Thor build for Marvel Zombies that I have made. So let's get right into why this does so much damage, and it's so easy on Thor. So for Thor, we're focusing only blue tree. So in here, you want to go all blue. For his E ability, you want to do Concussive Cell to stun enemies whenever you pop your E. And for your Q, you can use Thunderclap Surge. We'll very rarely be using this, but you can. As for the blessings, they are very, very, very important on this build. If you don't get one specific one early, your whole build is in shambles, and I'm not kidding. Obviously, we're only going for blue. So our main priorities during this will be Awakening Rune Duration. You need at least one rune recycle so you can constantly use it. And then you need to get End Storm before like wave 10, because this is your main squeeze. It turns your hammer throw, what you see here where we're going absolutely bananas and throwing things everywhere, and it lasts for over 3 minutes with just minimal upgrades. So those are the only things you should focus there. And then you're trying to get at least 2 or 3 Vampiric Vitalities. And then it is straight damage dealt, baby. You want to go full damage dealt on purples because he has nothing to boost his blue damage. Now let's go over how we deal with enemies. You want to make sure, like I said, you have that ability where your F turns into the rapid fire when you press your right click. For Namor, he is literally a breeze. You just want to line yourself up to where you're always hitting a squid and him at the same time, obviously. And every now and then look away to kill a couple squids so you don't get overwhelmed. Because on round 5, you won't have enough points to where you could have bought into a little bit of health and lifesteal yet. So that is your main priority here. And then comes the problem child, Scarlet Witch. If you don't have enough lifesteal or damage reduction or health yet by round 10, which is why you need to buy a little bit into that, she will literally just insta kill you every time she goes into that shift ability. So if you can't live that, then you're not strong enough to live the rest of the build. See how fast I just died? It's because I haven't built into it enough for this run for this video. But ideally you'll be at least 5,000 health with a good amount of lifesteal at this point. And last and certainly least, the best Jeff build. Even though he is the hardest character to do Nightmare 4, it is possible with this build. I have done it. Everyone thinks Jeff is the worst character. Well, it's because he is. He has no way of hitting critical hits, but he can still solo Nightmare 4. So let's get into why this build works and how everything doesn't die right away, but after like 1 second, they just simply fall over. So for the GOAT Jeffrey, we're going to be going fully into Red Tree for Joyful Splash. Max that out as much as you can. For his Aqua Burst, we want to put on Buoyant Splash for the extra damage. For his Bubble, you want to put on Fusion Bubble. And for his ultimate, Hazardous Depths, because we're using this to get away, because Jeff needs to escape quite a bit. As for the cards we'll be purchasing on Jeff, it's pretty self-explanatory, but we want Joyful Splash damage. And early game, we want Joyful Splash capacity, so you can continuously shoot that. Those are the only 2 you should prioritize. Also early game, want to make sure you pick up at least 1 Gnashing Waters, and you want to pick up at least 5 of these throughout the run, because this is what's going to kill enemies over time. After you hit them for a little bit of damage, they will fall over from this. Now on Jeff, it's actually really important to get a couple of Vampiric Vitalities because he is extremely weak, but he does do fast damage. Not a lot of damage, but fast damage. If you get at least 4 of these Vampiric Vitalities, you should be able to stay alive through almost anything. Obviously, you want to pick up all the damage dealt possible and damage received minus, but if early game you get a couple big maximum healths like Vitality Boost for plus 450, you're going to want to pick those up because he is so weak. Now, Jeff's strategy for the first boss, Namor, is pretty similar to how Magik works. Since he does such low damage, we're going to try and focus on survivability during bosses, so you need to make sure you're lining up multiple things at once. If you're shooting Namor, you want to be lined up to where you're shooting one of his squids with him at the exact same time. Or if you're killing zombies, you want to make sure you're hitting multiple at the same time like this. So you're getting maximum lifesteal from Vampiric and the normal lifesteal so you don't die. Jeff does very little damage, but it is possible to complete it once you scale up enough. He gets pretty strong around phase 15. For dealing with Wanda, he may be too weak to survive her lightning bolt attack that she does with the red like this. So when she does this, you want to pop your ultimate, and by the time you re-enter from your ultimate, it'll be over, and then you go back to damaging right away. Her next big thing is when she does her bubble, and this is where you find out if you have enough lifesteal on wave 10. If you die to this, you don't, and you'll have to restart. You want to make sure you have enough lifesteal to make it past this part. If you can make it past wave 10 with enough lifesteal, then you are good for the rest of the run. Now, if any of these builds helped you guys out, like I said, consider subscribing and leave a comment what build you're running, or if you're already running a similar build to mine. Don't forget to like the video if you ended up using any of my builds, and share it with your friends who suck so they can do better while playing with you. Bye, guys!